Hello, hello, hello. Anybody in here? Okay. Okay, let's get this out the way. Okay, so there's nobody in right now. Okay, so just waiting for more people to join. If you're in here, say hello. Oh, let me see the chat. Hey, Cha-Cha. How you doing? How are you doing? I hope more people join soon. I wasn't sure if this time will work for a lot of people. Hey. Okay. So you guys, we are discussing the video I posted yesterday. You're not nice. You are a caretaker. Were you able to watch that video? Hi, Chan. Hello. Thanks for joining the chat. We are discussing yesterday's video. I hope you guys watched it. You're not nice. You're a caretaker. Chacha says, making this money while I listen to the stream. Yes. Get your money, girl. Get your money, girl. Okay, 2026 is all about the money. Okay. So, yesterday's video, I really wanted to make sure that we talked about, because I've talked about empaths and codependents before in my video. You're not an empath, you're codependent. But there is a different aspect to codependency. So there are people that are not codependent, but they have a lot of codependent caretaking tendencies. Exotic man child, thank you for joining the live. Yes, thank you for joining. Yes, we're talking about you're not nice, you're a caretaker. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure that I talked about all the nuances of codependency because some people may not identify with being a codependent, but they're definitely a caretaker. They definitely have caretaking tendencies for toxic people. So when you guys watched the video, did you think that you are a caretaker? Whoever watched the video. All right, I'm not seeing a lot of comments yet, but yeah, but basically, if you are somebody who grew up having to be a caretaker, whether for a parent or for your siblings, because you did not have the most stable and emotionally regulated parents or just people in your household, you kind of had to have a strategy to survive that environment. But the difference between a codependent and a caretaker is that somehow, some way, you were able to develop a sense of self, and you were able to um, uh, develop some type of independence and your own sense of self. Codependents usually don't have a sense of self. Their sense of self usually comes from taking care of others, saving and fixing others. But caretakers don't really have that. Caretakers don't go out of their way to save people. But when a crazy person does come into their life, they usually comply because that's their survival strategy. Okay, Exotic Man Child says, I feel like I'm more on the side of being a codependent, and I like the Venn diagram that you made. Thank you. What makes you think you're a codependent? Exotic Man Child. Girl Like Angel says, I think I do have caretaker tendencies, especially growing up, but I'm trying to shut out of it. Yes, we're trying to heal this year, trying to shut out of it. Cha Cha says, I've been a co-parent since 14, since I had to help my mom raise my child, raise my sister. Thank you, Exotic Man Child, for the super chat. But yeah, Cha Cha, I know a lot of this dynamic where women, I know being a mother is really hard, especially if you don't have a good partner helping you, if you're a single mom. So I know a lot of moms tend to get their oldest child, especially if it's a girl, if you're the oldest daughter. I don't really see this a lot with like oldest male children. Like they usually do not become a surrogate parent. But when it's a daughter, they always end up becoming a surrogate parent in the household. And that those caretaking tendencies kind of just it stays with you into adulthood if you don't learn to heal that. Then you end up caretaking people that are not your own children later on in life. Can Chen says, I watched it. I agree with your facts. Taking care was from parental negligence. That's not default side, which is true. That's why I end up turning to baddie nonchalant because I don't care now about other people. Yeah. Yeah. So once you heal more, you will start to it will feel like you're being more selfish, but you're not. You're just finally putting yourself first because you used to put everybody else first and now you're not doing that anymore. So when you first start shedding your codependency and caretaking tendencies, you are going to feel more selfish. You might even feel guilty at first, but that's just part of the process, y'all. Cha says, I'm the oldest as well. Yeah, so it's a huge dynamic where the oldest daughter usually end up becoming a surrogate parent, and then they take those caretaking tendencies into adulthood, taking care of people that are not their children. Can Chan said, I'm a middle child, but because my older sister refused to be an adult, so I somehow became the eldest. Yeah, it happens. Usually, sometimes with certain dynamics, it usually end up becoming just whichever child is the most compliant, whichever child will not fight back as hard for the surrogate parent role. Because if the oldest child is like not going for that and it's like throwing tantrums or fighting back or whatever, the parent would just be like, okay, this is too hard. And then they'll just go to the next best thing, whichever child is not fighting back as hard and they're more malleable and more easy to control, they end up becoming the surrogate parent. Shanti Love says, I'm the oldest. I find myself mothering people who are even older than me. Oh my God, yes, yes. Because, immature people, just because somebody's older does not mean they're necessarily more mature than you. So when somebody did not have that maturity phase that we all go through and they still have these toxic, childish behaviors as a caretaker or codependent, you might end up becoming the surrogate mother just to make sure that like they're okay and that you can be safe. It really is a strategy. Caretaking is a strategy. So codependency is more of like it's a part of you, but caretaking is a strategy because usually as soon as you get out of that relationship or whoever you are being a caretaker to, once you get out of that relationship, like you don't feel the need to like go back there and save them again because caretakers are not dependent on fixing somebody like a codependent is. Like caretakers are very independent. Like they're comfortable alone. They're independent. They know, like they don't go out of their way to fix people, but crazy people find them. Um, Dilly Lily says, "Yay, made it to a live. Hi, girl. Welcome to your first live." Girl Like Angel says, "Eldest daughter over here. And one time I met this friend who was toxic, and I kept trying to love her and understand why she's acting the way she is, but it ended up hurting me instead. And she's older now. And she's older. Yeah, yeah. Like so, what with a caretaker, when you meet somebody that's toxic." Your first instinct is not to be like, oh, let me get away from this person, even if you want to, but your survival strategy is like, okay, if I just comply, if I just figure out what's wrong with her, why she's doing what she's doing, maybe I can calm her down and she won't be so out of control. And then she'll be fine or he'll be fine. And then I'll be okay. She won't do that to me anymore. She won't embarrass me anymore. She'll leave me alone. So it's a survival strategy. Caretaking is a survival strategy. Okay. Can Chan says some of the siblings do play dumb, not dumb, but the politics of being a poor child. Have mercy on us. What the hell? Yeah, some siblings, some fight back more than others. They don't want that caretaking role, so they usually end up dumping it on the child who's either the oldest or the one who's the most compliant, who doesn't fight back, who's more controllable. Andre ENFJ, I think it's Andrea. I'm just gonna call you Andrea. If it's not your name, please just let me know in the comments so I can say your proper name. She says, like, it's our responsibility that they chose to have kids. Yeah, yeah. A lot of parents. I don't want to like dump on parents because being a parent is hard. I'm not a parent yet, but I've seen, how hard it is to be a parent, especially if you're a single parent. So I understand the struggle of wanting help, but making selfish choices, because no child would beg to be in this life, right? No child begged to be here. So if you decided to make choices that you were not ready for, you can't really blame that, put that on the kid, right? Exotic Manchild says, my favorite part of the video was when you reminded me that not everyone has some backstory as to why they behave the way they do. Yes, let's talk about it. Nature versus nurture. I told you guys in our last live about the research about Dr. Peter Salerno. He has a book called Narcissism. I think it's Narcissism, Nature versus Nurture. And the argument is that the research shows that a lot of narcissists are made that way. There's no backstory. There's no traumatic childhood. A lot of times they become narcissists because it's genetic. Like their parents are narcissists. So it's like a biological thing. Or they become narcissists because they were so spoiled in childhood and they never were disciplined when they were younger for anything that they did. So they grow up becoming these entitled adults because they've been getting away with their bad behavior for so long. Like I've actually seen this. I've seen a woman who had children and like she would just never discipline them. She would never discipline them. I think she depended on her kids to feel loved because she didn't get it from a man. So she would never discipline them because she thought disciplining them will like make the kids not like her anymore or something. I don't know. I think she had a fear of abandonment. But basically, she would never discipline these kids, and they became selfish, entitled, narcissistic kids. So when you meet horrible people, it's not always because they have some sad backstory. So you guys need to remember that, because as a caretaker or codependent, you might automatically go there. You might automatically try to figure out, oh, I wonder what happened to them to make them behave like this. Oh my God, they probably are having some traumatic thing going on in their household. Maybe they grew up like this. That's not always true, guys. That's not always true. And that's not something that should be your first instinct to do. If somebody's treating you horribly, you don't have to make up a sad story to excuse their behavior. Like you're literally putting yourself on the back burner to appease somebody who is hurting you. We're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. Okay? Not everybody has a bad backstory. Not everybody has trauma. Sometimes it's arrogance, sometimes it's genetics, sometimes it's because they've been able to get away with a lot of things their whole life. Okay? So y'all need to, yeah. Can Chan says, absolutely, they get their karma when they step outside. Sometimes, yeah, but that's why they also find people like a caretaker or a codependent to abuse, because normal people, I don't want to say normal, like codependents and caretakers are not normal. We're normal, but I'm talking about like people that have healthy boundaries, that know, okay, this is toxic behavior and I don't have to tolerate it. They usually do not put up with these people's behaviors because they know it's not normal. But as a caretaker or a codependent, you're kind of used to this behavior already from your childhood or from your home. So you know how to comply. You will comply. A healthy, normal person that knows this is wrong, this is not right, they're not going to comply. So that's why these toxic people, they know exactly who to go for because they know you will comply. Because somebody who grew up in a healthy environment, they have good boundaries because they know this is not right. I'm not used to this. This is bad behavior. I've never been treated like this. I don't like it. I'm going to leave. I can't leave. Right? Cha Cha says some just choose to be that way. I've literally heard a narc admit to that. Yeah, you guys, a lot of them know what they're doing. They're very much aware of what they're doing. If you don't know if they're aware or not, watch my video called "You Don't Know Evil." They know what they're doing. They are very much aware. It's like having some type of like, for example, I have ADHD, right? I have ADHD. Um, I'm managing it now. Although I can try my hardest to be normal, get on my medication or use my little strategies, at the end of the day, I can't help it. Like I'm aware of the behaviors, but sometimes I just can't help it. So just like that, same with a narcissist. Although they are aware of their behavior, they can't stop it. It's a disorder. Okay. Chacha says, we will probably never know about their karma to the fullest extent. They never like to speak truthfully on their downfalls. That is also true. That is also true. That I think I touched on that in the video, in my No One Cares video, that some of these people never get their karma or like you never see it. Because also narcissists, they have a really big ego. So they never want to admit when something bad happened to them or whatever they planned fell through or like people are hitting them because of things that they do. So you will never really know. And I don't want you to sit around trying to see their downfall. That will make you miserable. And I don't want you to be miserable. You need to be so focused on your own life that you don't even care. They're doing really well, great. They're doing really bad, great. You don't care either way because you're so focused on your own life that you don't care what happens to them or what doesn't happen to them. Waiting for karma to hit somebody will make you a miserable person, and it's not going to help you, right? You need to focus on your life, your healing, your career, your happiness, all of that. Do not sit around trying to figure out what somebody's karma is or how they're doing. Are they suffering yet? Are they miserable yet? Are they failing yet? No, that's going to end up becoming you because you keep sitting around trying to figure that out. Don't do that. All right. Can Chan says, even these narcissistic entitled aunties that somehow know you always expect a greeting from you, not caring what she's not caring what if she's through some not caring if you're going through something, they start doing they start doing is talking immediately. um yeah, I mean, narcissists don't care about what you're going through. It's all about them. It's all about them, what you can do for them, how you can serve them, how they're the best. They should have everything. It's just always about them. It's always about them. They don't live in reality. Like, guys, narcissists do not live in reality. They live in a delusional mindset. Like, they think everybody exists to serve them in some type of way. Exotic man child says, just waiting on karma to hit somebody is such a waste of time. Yes, I spent the last 4 years hoping something warm. What happened to some? You were hoping something would happen to somebody, but the Lord ended up blessing him twice as hard. Yes, that's the thing. I don't know if everybody is Christian in this chat. I try to keep my channel like just strictly in the physical, but I'm a spiritual person too. I'm a Christian. But even in the Bible, it says like, if you are waiting on somebody's downfall, somebody's karma, or you laugh when God's hit somebody with their karma for what they did to you, if you laugh or if you're happy and you revel in that, he will bless that person. God will bless that person. So do not wait around trying to revel in people's karma. Like, it's not. You should focus on your own life. Okay. Nikki C3 says that's completely true. Yeah. Cha says, yep, life is a movie to them. Yeah, they do not live in reality. They really do not live in reality. Like, they think everybody just exists to serve them. They think everybody exists to serve them. So don't worry about what a narcissist is doing. Okay, they're doing what they always do. They're not happy. Okay, so let's move on back to the topic about being a caretaker. So I talked a little bit about nervous system regulation in my last video, about how caretakers and codependents are usually in dorsal vagal shutdown. But basically your nervous system has a couple of states that is usually stays in. So if you're in a healthy, safe environment, your nervous system is regulated, you're in the ventral vagal part of your nervous system regulation. So that means you're safe and connected, you're socially engaged, you're curious, you playful. And then we have fight or flight. We all know about that. Fight or flight is your sympathetic nervous system response, is your survival strategy. So you either fight or flight, right? So, and then we have freeze and fawn. That's your that's your dorsal vagal plus appeasement. So this is when like you try to people please, you try to appease the threat, you try to be nicer to the toxic person. And then the last one is your shutdown and collapse. This is your dorsal vagal dominant. So this is when you're dissociated, you're numb. When something happens, when somebody yells at you or is angry towards you or is throwing tantrums, you just kind of shut down and you disassociate and you don't know what to say. It's like something is holding your throat back. So those are all different nervous system responses. And it's important to know this because as a caretaker, when a toxic person approaches you or uses anger, intimidation, aggression or something, it's not that you're weak and you can't fight back. Your nervous system, your autonomic nervous system is literally responding before you can even think about it, right? Because your autonomic nervous system is automatic. Your body naturally does that to protect you. So you can't really be too mad about not standing up for yourself right away because your body is literally doing exactly what it knows from experience to protect you. Okay, so that's not even something you're in control of at that point. Okay. And sometimes you beat yourself up like, oh, and you think of certain things like, oh, I should have said something. Oh, I would have beat her up. Oh, I should have said this. Oh, I should have done that. But it's like you couldn't in the moment, not because you're weak, but because your autonomic nervous system automatically went into dorsal vagal shutdown. Right? So do not beat yourself up for things that you can't control. Your body is literally doing what it needs to protect you. Because let's say if you were brought up in a toxic environment or in a violent environment and you had to kind of just be quiet and freeze and shut down in order to be left alone and be safe in that moment, your body takes notes of all of those experiences. It takes notes of all those experiences. So they know, okay, next time, if somebody does this, this is how I can survive that. So then when you go out into the real world, let's say you go to school and a toxic person approaches you and they're all in your face, being aggressive or whatever, your autonomic nervous system automatically goes into freeze or fawn, because that's how it knows to protect you and keep you safe. All right. So I don't want y'all to down yourself or keep beating yourself up for things that you couldn't do in the past when you were faced with a threat, because you literally were not even in control of your body. You were not in control of your body. So do not be down on yourself. Okay. Where Angels Fear says, ooh, my show is on. Hey girl, this is my first time seeing you on a live. I mean, it's only our second one, but welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. So do you guys feel like you freeze or fawn when you are faced with a threat in real life, when somebody's being aggressive or violent or just toxic towards you? Is your nervous system regulated? I think I put the chart up in the video. But yeah, y'all, do not beat yourself up for it. All right, moving on. So you don't approach toxic people, but toxic people do approach you and you don't fight back. You just try to figure out, oh, what's wrong with this person? Why are they doing this to me? You start thinking, what did I do for this person to do this to me? Even when you know that you didn't do anything. But as a caretaker, you're so used to trying to fix, trying to like bring the peace, because you think everything is your fault. Like if somebody yelled at you unprovoked, you think it's your fault. You think you may have done something, instead of thinking like, oh, there's something wrong with this person. Why are they yelling at me? That makes no sense. So you automatically go into like fix mode, trying to figure out, okay, what did I do? How can I fix this? No, you have to regulate your nervous system in order to be able to come back into reality and not go into dorsal vagal shutdown. But I talk about that in the No One Cares course. Exotic Man Child says, whenever somebody's trying to attack me, I go into fight mode, or I try to say something back before I think about what was said. But that's actually good though, just as long as you're not in fight or flight 24/7. Like fight or flight is when you're faced with a threat. So if you go into a fight when somebody threatens you, then that's good. You're regulated. Where Angel's Fear says definitely freeze. Yeah. I used to go into freeze, then I used to go into fawn, but it's not your fault, guys. Like, you're not weak. I'm actually a very strong person. Like, I can fight, but it's just I will never fight because like I keep trying to make it peaceful. Trying to like, hey, why we don't even have to fight, like we don't even have to make a scene, like, just like let's all be peaceful, right? Can Chan says, as a child, I used to freeze, fawn, but then as a teen, I started giving it back. But then going through years after years, entering healing periods, you realize your brain removed even good memories of the past. Yes, and that's another thing. Is like, when you have a lot of complex trauma, like, so that means you have multiple traumas across like your life. When you have too much trauma, your brain actually suppresses a lot of your memories. Even your good memories, it will suppress them, and you won't even remember your childhood. Exotic Man Child says, "Lol, sometimes I take it too far." That's okay. I mean, if somebody is trying you, you have every right to fight back. Like, our survival energy is fight or flight. So you either fight or leave. So as long as you don't end up in jail. Yeah. But yeah, Can Chan, yeah, that happens. If you have a lot of complex trauma, your brain will start to suppress a lot of your memories. So that's another thing. All right, moving on. Okay, number 2 is you are committed to proving to people that you are a good and kind person. Okay, when somebody has a false negative image of you in their minds, it is genuinely intolerable for you. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the good girl image. Okay, the good girl image is hurting you. If you are a caretaker, a codependent, you have to be able to let go of the good girl, good guy image. That makes you easy to manipulate. If you are so worried about everybody thinking you're a good person, everybody thinking you're a kind person, a nice person, you're going to be so easy to manipulate, because all somebody has to do is label you as a bad person, and then you go into fixing mode. Like, what? No, I'm not. No, I'm so nice. I'm the. Then you start trying to please them, trying to prove yourself to them. It's manipulation. I have this in the Bible, manipulation. I even talked about it in some of my videos. It's called labeling. It's called labeling. They label you as something positive or negative to condition your behavior. So you have to stop caring about what other people think of you. I have a whole video on my channel called Stop Caring. I show you exactly how to stop caring. Stop caring. You guys, some of y'all care way too much what people think about you. When you care too much, yes, you should somehow be responsible and taking care of your reputation, right? But you have to be able to detach yourself also from what other people think of you. If you want everybody to like you, guys, there's like 8 billion people in the world. Do you really think they will all like you? All 8 billion of them will all like you? No way you think that. No way. You want to please 8 billion people? You want to please 8 billion people. That sounds really exhausting. So you will people please 8 billion people. You have to stop. You cannot please everybody. And whenever somebody has a bad idea of you, of who you are, and you know it's not true, so what? I need you to be able to be like, so I don't care what you think. Okay, and so you think I'm a bad person? Okay. A lot of times they're trying to get you to prove yourself to them. Don't do it. Hi, Gigi. Is it the same Gigi from the Discord? Hi, Gigi. Um, welcome to the chat. I haven't seen you in a while. Um, yeah, but a lot of times they're trying to get you to prove yourself to them. And then you end up doing it because as a caretaker, you can't tolerate somebody just having a negative opinion of you. You have to stop, guys. If you keep doing that, you're going to be easier and easier and easier to manipulate. And manipulators know this. They know it. Okay? So let the good girl, good guy image go. They don't care. And if you disappoint people, guys, you disappoint people in the moment. They'll be disappointed, they'll be mad, but guess what? They will move right on to find somebody else that they can easily manipulate. Okay? V27 says sometimes it's not even about you. They just hate people. Yes. Like, have you ever met somebody that just hate everyone? They just hate humans. They just hate humans. So you're trying to prove yourself to somebody that just hates humans in general. You're wasting your time. Gigi Desire says, yes, I'm not in there anymore. I was dealing with some personal things and deleted my apps. Okay, girl. Well, you can hit me up on how to get back in. Okay. All right. All right, moving on. Let's see. Number 3, caretakers believe that every toxic person became that way out of some type of trauma. So we already touched on this already in the beginning of the live. Not everybody has some tragic, traumatic backstory. Sometimes they're just evil, horrible people and they were born that way. Okay? So do not take your time, have your time just trying to figure out, oh my God, what happened to them in their childhood? What's going on in their home? Why are they doing this? No, you need to be worried about yourself. You need to be worried about yourself. Why? Don't ask, why is this person doing this to me? What is wrong with them? What happened to them? You need to think, this person is crazy. I don't know why they're doing that. Let me get the hell out of here. Set my boundaries and get the hell out of here. That's how you need to start thinking. Stop trying to put the other person's feelings above your own. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I have a plane flying in my background. Very ghetto. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, don't put your feelings above your own. Stop putting your feelings above your own. You are caretaking. That is codependency. It's a form of codependency. Okay. Exotic Man Child says you have a Discord. Yes, I do. You have to join the Patreon and I'll send you a link to the Discord. Yeah. Sprinkle Clip says, growing up, I have been parentified and abused to the point that I chose fawn as my major response. All my life, I have been people pleasing. I am indeed a caretaker. I'm afraid of conflict to the extent that my nervous system shuts down when I feel threatened. So I found your content and decided to apply it in real life. I decided to stop trying to prove myself and be a nice or good person. Okay, let me stop right there. So you said you chose fawning. You didn't choose fawning. So fawning is your nervous system response. It's not even something that you're conscious of. Okay, your nervous system automatically does that to protect you. Okay, so you're not choosing it. It's happening automatically. And you also says, however, I started developing paranoid ideation. I am constantly scanning the environment and people, looking for signs of disrespect. And believe me, I find them a lot. I tend to bully people too. I tend to bully people too when trying to assert my dominance. I am so afraid of being used again or falling victim of self-centered people. Am I becoming a bully myself? I feel like I'm turning into a toxic person. I need help because I know your advice is not intended for harm. However, I'm having this issue. Please help me. Okay, so you are I hate to plug myself in, but that's exactly why I created the No One Cares course. You need to regulate your nervous system. You need to, all the trauma that happened to you, you have not processed it yet. And you're still stuck in fight or flight, whether you know it or not. You're still stuck in fight or flight, and all those behaviors are because you have not processed those emotions and those things that happen to you. And your nervous system is dysregulated as a result of that. So you need to get the course. You need the No One Cares course. If you need a discount, go ahead and email me at glowgetters.com. But you are exactly the type of person that I made this course for. Okay. If you don't address these behaviors now, they're going to get worse. Okay. And then you don't want to be the person that nobody wants to be around because you're just always on edge. You're just always trying to fight people. That's not good. You don't want to be a people pleaser, but you don't want to be a bully and a toxic person either. Because you guys, the whole thing is, I think I'm learning is that toxic people find satisfaction in turning you like them. They want you to end up like them. They get so happy when you become like them. It's like that's why I talk about how a lot of this stuff is spiritual too. Like they want you to be so hurt that you end up becoming just like them, just as miserable and hypervigilant and paranoid and dominating as them. That's what they want. And I don't want y'all to end up like that, because those people, even though they may look strong, they're not happy. They're not happy, and I want y'all to be happy. You're not happy, guys. So please do not. You need the course. But also, if you have access to therapy, go ahead and sign up, because you need to regulate your nervous system. You need to process your trauma and your emotions. You're stuck in fight or flight. Okay. Number 4, you are scared of negative attention. Not that you can't defend yourself or you're afraid of conflict. Most caretakers can handle themselves in conflict. You just hold back a lot to keep the peace. So it's really just about the spectacle. It's just about the spectacle. You don't want to be caught making a scene in public. Like, I just want peace. Like, I don't want people to start looking at me and we're having this argument and we're having this conflict. Like, it's embarrassing. And it is embarrassing. But to a toxic person, they don't care, because that's how they assert control. They don't care as long as they get the result that they want. So it's not that you go around making scenes everywhere, but when a toxic person tries to make a scene, you have to kind of assert yourself in that moment. Because if not, you are giving them exactly what they want. They know caretakers have trouble with having negative attention, making a scene. So because they know that, they know exactly where to hit you, where you'll be defenseless. Because you'll just be like, okay, I don't want people watching me, looking at me. Like, I'm not trying to be doing all of this here. Like, they know exactly what they're doing. They know if they get in public and start yelling at you or trying to pick a fight with you, you give in, because you just don't want people to see you that way. So they know exactly how to get you. So although you're scared of negative attention, you need to stop caring. Okay, you want to try me in public? We can do this publicly. Then once you assert yourself, distance yourself from that person. You don't have to be a good girl, good guy all the time. People don't need to see you like that all the time. I talk about this in my You're Not a Good Person video. It's an older video from a year back, that you're not a good person. Everybody does not have to see you as the good girl, good guy 24/7. You're a human being. You're not a robot. You're not a robot. You can't be nice, smiley, people pleasing all the time. You're hurting yourself. You're going to get sick. Like, really, seriously, you're going to get an autoimmune disorder from suppressing all that anger and rage and sadness and shame. You're going to get an autoimmune issue. Okay, so these toxic people are literally making you sick. and you just don't know it yet. If they try to make a scene, assert yourself and then distance yourself from that person. All right, Sprinkle Clip says, thank you so much, Balazi, for your response. You're welcome. Exotic Man Child says, yes, because if you don't assert yourself in that moment, I feel like it gives them the green light to keep doing it. Yes. Yes, they know exactly what they're doing. That's why they do it at that time, because they're testing you. Is this person going to try to keep the peace because we're in front of people? They're very calculated in how they do this. They're very calculated. Okay. Can Chan says, not giving your presence to these people is the only answer. Yes. I mean, sometimes people can't leave, especially if it's like a home situation and they're underage, don't have their own financial independence. So at that point, you're gonna have to learn how to fight, because if you can't suppress all of this, you're gonna get sick. Yeah, but if you can get away from that person, you can. Once you're over the age of 18 and you're financially independent, you have more control over your life than you think. Okay. So if you can leave, you should leave. Toxic people should not be around you. You should not, if you can, try to get away from them. Okay. Tracism says, so true. Hashimoto's here. Yeah. Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, rheumatoid arthritis. A lot of autoimmune issues comes from suppressing all your emotions and the things you want to say and do, because a toxic person is like antagonizing you and you're just swallowing all of that. You're going to get sick. Like, seriously, guys, I talk about this in the course. I told y'all I do not play in the course. Ask the people that bought the course. I break it down, okay? Because I've been through it. I know exactly what's going to happen, and that's why I spend so much time trying to teach y'all. Do not tolerate toxic people. You're going to get sick. If you can't, get away from them. Okay, Nine-Tailed Seance says, what's your stance on disassociating or stonewalling? I'm doing that with my roommate and it seems to be working. Stonewalling is a great tool when you're with somebody that you can't really get away from. Just try not to give them as much of your energy. Be flat, be boring, keep your distance. Can Chan says, absolutely. Why see their faces and why show them your beautiful face? Exactly. So if you can't get away from a toxic person, please do. You don't have to stay and try to figure out what's wrong with them. Leave. Okay. All right. Number 5, as a caretaker, you have a hard time saying no to people, especially people that come off wounded, anxious, or needy. Okay. This is important because the thing is like, and that's what I said, caretakers are not codependents. Like, that's why Chloe is a perfect example of a caretaker. Chloe is not weak. We've seen Chloe fight on the show all the time, right? I'm sorry, y'all. We've seen Chloe fight on the show all the time. She would bite back. She would do this, but she also has caretaking tendencies. And although she can fight back, she has a hard time saying no to certain things and certain people. So as a caretaker, it's not that you can't say no, and it's not that you're weak. It's just that there are certain people that you just can't say no to because of things that have happened to you in your childhood and how you learn to survive. So some things you can't say no because it triggers your parental caretaking tendencies. Chloe is definitely a caretaker. She basically raised Kendall and Kylie. And now she's raising like her own children, but also as well as like her siblings' children. The kids are with her a lot. But basically it's hard for caretakers to say no to certain people. Like, for example, if somebody's like arrogant, narcissistic, just an a-hole, a caretaker can definitely say no to those type of people. But there's usually a person that has like this little particular features. Like, they're an a-hole, they're toxic, but underneath it you can tell this person is lonely, this person is tired of being rejected, and they just want somebody. They want connection with people, but they're so toxic that nobody wants to be around them. So So you start feeling pity for them. You start feeling bad for them. And that's where it gets you, is your pity. Caretakers pity people, pity toxic people. It's not that you're weak, it's that you pity them. You feel bad for them. So then you end up letting them walk all over you because you feel like you can fix them, you can help them. But you can say no to certain people. You can definitely say no to certain people. But it's these weird, it's this little section of person here who is completely toxic, but you can tell it's because they're a weirdo, they're rejected, no one likes them. They have this narcissistic defense. So then you feel bad and then you end up giving in to them to try to help them out. And then they just end up destroying your life. Caretakers know in the beginning when somebody is toxic and it's going to hurt them, but you have these caretaking tendencies as a survival strategy. So then you think like, okay, I'm just gonna help this person out. She's clearly lonely. She's clearly like, she probably just don't know how to make friends or something. He's probably just hurt because he keeps getting rejected by women. So maybe I should date him, help him out. I don't know. But as a caretaker, your weak spot is your pity. You feel bad for people, especially toxic people, because you bring up these stories, you try to make up these stories in your head about how they got that way, why they're acting like this, instead of thinking, this person is crazy, toxic. I don't have to listen to this. I don't have to deal with this at all. Okay? So if you're a caretaker, do you have a hard time saying no to everyone or just some people? Leave in the comments below. I want to see. But all right, number 6. As a caretaker, you sacrifice yourself for the toxic person. You basically make yourself a scapegoat to keep the peace. A huge part of the caretaker role is stabilizing the moods and emotions of toxic people. This I had to put in here. Okay, Nine Tails Seance says, are caretakers also empaths? No. So I have a video called You're Not an Empath, You're Codependent. So that one breaks down the difference between an empath and a codependent. And this video breaks down the difference between a caretaker and a codependent. So just because you're a caretaker does not make you an empath. A lot of people get that language confused because of social media. Somebody gets got by a narcissist and they be like, oh, I'm an empath. You're not an empath. 9 times out of 10, you're not an empath. Empaths are very rare. Okay? You can have empathy and not be an empath. All right. Kan Chan says, sometimes I feel these survival instincts could be helped if school prepared kids on the normalcy of saying no. But I guess they don't. Because then kids won't obey the teachers and the parents. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I understand that it's a hard spot to be in. I definitely think that a lot of the work should be done at home, but a lot of parents don't want to be responsible for that. Like, a lot of parents don't like saying no to their children, which is really bad. Kids need boundaries. If you don't set it early in the beginning, they're gonna become entitled. Okay? Kids need to learn how to say no, and you also, as a parent, need to learn how to say no to children. They need to know that there are limits, and they can't get everything they want. Okay? All right, so number 6, I said that. You sacrifice yourself for the toxic person. Basically, you make yourself, I hate to say it like this, but the punching bag. You allow yourself to be the punching bag for a toxic person. And that's really the part that probably hurts the most, is when you allow yourself to become the punching bag, because what you're doing is becoming an external regulator for that person's moods and emotions. they're using you to regulate your nervous system. So they put all their bad stuff on you. So before you get into some type of relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship, or this is like a family relationship, before you get into a close relationship with this person, they're usually kind of chaotic. Right? Nobody likes them. They're incredibly toxic. Nobody wants to be around them. And then you, as a caretaker, they come to you, and then you don't reject them, and then you allow them close because you think you could try to calm them down. Then what happens is that now you become the punching bag. Now every time they feel angry for being rejected by people, they come to you and treat you like ish. They treat you like ish. And then you take it because you know, like, okay, this person is angry right now. Something happened. I feel bad for them. So you allow them to talk to you a certain way, treat you a certain way, degrade you, berate you a certain way. Then once they put all that on you, now they are regulated. They feel good. Their nervous system is regulated. They can go back out and be nice to other people. You are sacrificing yourself for the greater good of everybody else there. And then you will notice that once you make yourself this sacrificial lamb for this toxic person, everybody else kind of looks at you as like you are responsible for them or for the peace of the group. Because if you remove yourself from the toxic person, now they're going to be chaotic again. Now they're going to be bothering everybody else again. But if it's just with you, all of that chaos is just contained towards you. Then everybody else will be at peace. So you see how you are sacrificing yourself for the greater good of the whole group, but you are destroying yourself in the process as a caretaker. Sprinkle Clip says, definitely a caretaker that ended up becoming a healthcare professional in order to monetize my trauma. Yeah, that happens a lot. People that are traumatized get into fields to help other people that are traumatized. Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, so you guys, do not make yourself a punching bag. Do not make yourself the trash can for anybody. Do not make yourself an external regulator, because what they're doing is just using you. You're not even a person to these people. When somebody treats somebody like that and degrades them, they don't like you. People don't do that to people that they respect and love. They're using you as an external regulator because they cannot regulate their own nervous system. They can't regulate their own moods, their own emotions. So they use you to regulate them. And then they feel great. It's like a form of energy siphoning. They're giving you their bad and taking your good. They're calm and peaceful now because they put it all out on you. Is this hitting a nerve? It's not funny, but it's just like, I gotta make sure y'all still with me. So you guys, do not make yourself a sacrificial lamb. Do not make yourself a punching bag. Do not make yourself the person this person treats like ish to feel better about themselves. Okay? All right. Number 8, you are fiercely independent. You don't really ask for help when you need it. You try to figure out things on your own. You don't want to be the burden on others. But even though you're fiercely independent and you don't ask for much, you just allow people to take everything from you. You allow people to use you. You allow people and people love to use you and ask you for things because they know you will never ask them for anything in return. Because you're independent. You just like to figure things out on your own. You don't like to burden people. You are literally the perfect target for a user, a narcissist, a toxic person. People will just take advantage of you. Because you just give without ever taking and taking it. And people love that. People love somebody that would just keep giving and never take from them. Just keep giving. Just keep giving to me. I don't have to ever give anything to you. I don't ever have to be there for you. I don't ever have to give you anything. I don't ever have to help you. As a caretaker, if you're doing this, if you're in a relationship with a person, in all your relationships, if you're given to people, it should be a standard for you to request something back. I'm not saying like, oh, if somebody asks for something, immediately ask them for something right after. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, if you're in a relationship with somebody or a friendship with somebody, you have to allow them to give to you too. That's how you get used. When you don't ask for anything, you don't require anything from anybody, and you just keep giving and giving and giving. Okay? So if this is you and you're a caretaker and you're fiercely independent, you not asking for anybody for anything from anybody ever. I know it sounds really good, but that's how you get used. You want to be in a symbiotic relationship with people, not parasitic. Do not just allow them to take and take and take from you. Because if you allow people to, they will use you up until you have absolutely nothing else in you. Then once you have nothing, they throw you out. They discard of you like trash because they have nothing else to benefit. You have nothing now. You are completely drained of everything. Okay? So if you are independent, that's great, but allow people to give to you too as a caretaker. Okay? Han Chan says, imagine you working hard, believing this will add to some experience in life, while there will be somebody thinking 24/7, what can I get from this person? The list goes on for such people. Yeah. Some people literally think like that. And I know it's crazy when like you don't think like this. You don't think like you're not like out here to get people. You're not out here to take advantage of people. You're just being a good person. So you automatically project that onto other people like, oh, other people won't do this to me. Like they're just like me. No, some people's mindsets work completely different from yours. They're just here to take and take and take and take and never give. So y'all need to be careful. All right. So those were the 8 signs of a caretaker. Based on these signs that we went over, do you guys think you are a caretaker? In the comments before I move on to the next section. Do you think you're a caretaker? What makes you think you're a caretaker? How can I help? All right, let me see. We have about 24 people watching. What's up, guys? Are you a caretaker? We need to fix that right now. If I have some caretakers in this chat, we need to talk about it, y'all. Why are you a caretaker? What can you do to fix it? What's going on? All right, just a few minutes and then I'll move on to the next section. Sprinkle Clips says, absolutely. Yeah, Sprinkle Clips, yeah. I need you to email me at glowgetterjust.com. Not .com, at gmail.com. I think you will benefit from the course. Kate Hamstead says, yes, I'm a caretaker. My solution has been to have almost no human interactions. I'm good on my own. So isolation, I think, is a good strategy for a while, for like temporary solutions. Okay, but as a human, you guys look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. One of our needs as a human is to be socially connected and have a community. So although isolation is good for healing, learning, developing yourself, it's not a good long-term strategy. You still need to be able to learn how to navigate people and social situations so that you can have a good life, because loneliness, you guys, loneliness is like as bad for you as smoking. I think they said like what, 10 cigarettes a day or something. Or is it more than that? So loneliness is very bad for you. So although I believe in isolation for healing purposes, eventually you have to come back outside. Okay, so that's why you need to learn the strategies. Okay. All right. Nine Tails Seance says, I was a caretaker, but when I entered into a bully phase, but then I entered into a bully phase. Now I'm working on my shadow side, trying to stay in balance. Yes. So that's the thing. That's the problem, is like when you get hurt, a lot of people want to like go on the opposite side, which is just, I'm not going to be bullied anymore. I'm not going to be bullied anymore. I'm going to be the bully. And then it backfires because now nobody wants to be around you because you're a bully. So you need to work on that. Okay. Cam Chan says, no way, done my good deed. It's embarrassing now. Yeah, I'm not a caretaker anymore, but it's all part of life. You know, we all go through certain things in life, and then we learn and we heal and we change. Sprinkle Clip says, I can't resist when I see someone in distress. Yes, I will contact you. Yeah. Yeah, we need to fix the codependency and caretaking tendencies. Other people's problems is not your own. Once you heal, you won't have this immediate response to save people anymore. Trust me. Once people heal, other people's problems, like, do not that you become devoid of empathy, but like you just don't feel responsible for other people's problems anymore. Okay. Exotic Man Child said, I also had to get rid of most of my human interaction, and now I do AI as well as parasocial, but I do plan to go back to human after I'm done healing. Yes, you guys, I believe in isolation for temporary solutions to heal and learn and get better, but eventually you have to go outside again, make friends again. But this time you're wiser. You have standards now. You have boundaries now. You know about the manipulation tactics now. So you know when to set a boundary and not be involved in toxic relationships. Right? So the solution is not to just hide in your house forever. You're going to get sick. Okay. As a human, part of our needs is social engagement, a community. All right, Nine Tails Seance says, okay, you are responding to Sprinkle Clips. Says if you help people, you sometimes take on their bad karma. You shouldn't help people, especially if they didn't ask. Yes, I think I talked about this before. Sometimes when you help people, you are interrupting their bad karma. Y'all, toxic people get their karma sometimes, but there's always a codependent or caretaker there to absolve them of that karma. And then you end up taking on the karma for them. They end up hurting you, and then they get back. They're full of power now. They're happy now because you took care of them. You interrupted that karma. Not everybody that's going through a hard time is genuine. Sometimes they're terrible people. They treated people terribly, and they're getting their karma. So leave them alone to learn their lesson. Like, you guys, every human has their own lessons to learn in life. If you go in trying to change people's destinies and life paths, you're blocking their lessons in this lifetime. Let people learn their lessons. Okay, Shantia Love says, I think I might be healing because I'm turned off by needy people where they used to be my kryptonite. Yeah, once you heal, like a lot of that neediness, tantrums, just trying to use people for regulation, you're not going to be attracted to that. You're going to be like, girl, like, get off me. Like, boy, bye. Like, I'm not your mother. I'm not your father. Like, leave me alone. Kate Hampstead says, I remember in a video you said, if you feel the urge to save someone, save yourself instead. Yes, that we want to step in and heal someone because no one stepped in to help us. Yeah, I think I talked about that in my You're Not an Empath, You're Codependent video, and You're Not a Good Person video. Yes, a lot of times codependent people, caretakers, you're still hurt from your traumas. You're still hurt from your past. So when you see people that are hurting or you think are hurting, we project ourselves onto people. So you project yourself onto somebody, and then like, it's really because you need saving. You need saving. Sprinkle Clip says, yes, you're right. I find myself fighting battles that are not mine and also being used as a sacrificial lamb. Yeah, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop interrupting people's karma, taking on people's karmic debts, taking on people's bad things that they've done to other people. You are interrupting their karma, and it's going to get onto you. Their bad luck is going to come onto you because you are absolving them of that karmic debt. Let people learn your lessons in this lifetime. Okay. All right. Moving on. So how does a relationship with a caretaker and a toxic personality usually looks like? Okay. So I'm going to go off what I talked about in the video and let me know if you guys have experienced this before. So as a caretaker, okay, Usually you end up complying with this toxic person, right? Trying to figure out, oh, what's wrong with them? What did I do? Why are they treating me like this? So instead of your instinct being like, oh, this person is dangerous, let me get away from them, your instincts become, oh my God, what did I do? What's wrong? I didn't do anything. Why are they doing that? What's wrong with them? What happened in your childhood that made them like this? What's happening? No. Your first instinct should be, this person is crazy. I'm going to get up and leave. Okay. But as a caretaker, you don't. So you stay, you try to fix them, you tolerate them, you don't reject them like everybody else. Okay. And then you comply, right? And then also we talked about your image. You're trying to change their minds about you. And also let's talk about negging. I talk about negging in my book, The Bible of Manipulation, but everybody knows what negging is. It's when somebody gives you a negative trait when they first meet you, especially when they don't know you, and they give you a negative trait. And then if you are easily manipulated, or if you are gullible and naive and you're not realizing what you're doing, and if you're a caretaker, because you care about image, right? If you're a caretaker, you're going to be like, what? No, that's not what I am. I'm a good person. I'm this. And then you try to prove yourself to them, and then you lost. Okay. So image management, let the image go. And as a caretaker in this relationship, your moods will end up becoming tied to this person's moods. So if you're around this person and you start walking on eggshells, because you never know what will set them off. You never know what will make them rage and yell at you or be aggressive with you, especially in public in front of other people. So you're constantly walking on eggshells. You don't know what to say. Sometimes you just end up becoming quiet because you don't know what you will say that will set them off. Right? So you become stuck in this bubble where you're kind of lost. Like you start walking on eggshells, and your moods get tied to their moods. Okay? Because you are their caretaker. You are their external regulator. They're using you as a punching bag. Number one, I said, you become like a surrogate mother for them. Okay. And you practice something called individuation. So individuation is like when children are coming up, when you first have a child, as a baby, you have no idea who you are. You don't have a sense of self. The person who gives you your sense of self is your mother. You mirror your mother, right? But usually with these toxic people, they usually do not have that. They don't have an individual self, right? And you as a caretaker, you end up becoming their surrogate mother, and you start practicing, you won't realize it, but you start practicing individuation with this toxic person. Oh, they don't have an identity. They start wearing your clothes, start taking your personality, start walking like you, talking like you, taking on your hobbies, like you're their mother, like you're helping them individuate. Can Chan says, I watch them now from a distance for the cry of help, Hollywood acting the person did. If it actually impacted the person when the audience is gone, that's how I see where the person's actually standing. Yeah, you watch them, see how they react to other people. Yeah. Yeah, do not be the first to help somebody. I'm sorry. Been there, done that. But yeah, as a caretaker, you end up becoming a surrogate mother, and you help this toxic person individuate because you have caretaking tendencies. They trigger a sense of caretaking tendencies in you. Do you guys agree with that? Have you guys done that before? In the comments. Well, we have 27 people watching. Hey, y'all, if you just got in, say hi in the comments. I can't be talking to myself, y'all. If you just got in, say hi. Do you have caretaking tendencies? Do you help people individuate, take on your personality? Because you feel bad for them, you pity them. All right, let me go up here. Okay, if you just got in the chat, say hi. Hi, Mrs. Moneymaker. Oh, I love that. Miss Moneymaker. What's up, girl? Welcome to the live. What's going on? It's hers. 887 says, yes, my mom. You are the caretaker for your mom. Yeah, that happens sometimes where the child becomes the surrogate parent for their parent, right? It's crazy. You become the mother to your mother. It happens. Because there are some parents that are not mature yet. Like they are still stuck in like toddler stage in an adult body. And then you end up becoming the parent. Hey, Boo, love your channel so much. Thank you, girl. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. All right. So, you guys do not become the surrogate mother for people that are not your underage children. Okay. That's not your responsibility. Your mother was supposed to do that. And if they didn't, they have to go to therapy. You cannot fix that. Okay. All right. Number two, in this type of relationship, there's highs and lows, push and pull, hot and cold. You become confused. You guys, a telltale sign that you are with a toxic person is if you are you ready? Confused. If you are confused with this person, you are in a toxic relationship. Whether I say relationship, but relationship can mean it's not just romantic relationship. It can mean friendship, parental relationship, family relationship, romantic. When I say a relationship, it encompasses everything. Okay, but yeah, a telltale sign that you are with a toxic person is if you are confused. You're not sure, like, why are they like that? Wait, you were just happy 2 minutes ago. Now you're angry and raging. I'm confused. Wait, you asked me to come here, but now you're acting distant. I'm confused. Wait, well, does he like me? Does he not like me? Does she like me? Does she not like me? Confusion is a huge sign that you are with a toxic person. As her says, you've helped me a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help people. So I'm glad I'm doing that. Kate says, I decided as a teenager to not have any children. Many years later, I realized that I had been the mother to my mother, such a burden. No wonder I didn't want to have children. Yeah, so that happens a lot. I actually know like 2 people in real life that this happened to, where they were basically the mother to their mothers and the mother to their siblings. And they no longer want to have children because they feel like they've done it already. They feel like, well, when I was like a child and a teenager, I never got to go to the parties. I never got to do this and do this as a regular teenager. I ended up taking care of my siblings and taking care of you. So now I feel like I got my life taken from me. And now I don't want to have any children of my own because I feel like I've already done that. Like I don't want to spend more of my life being a parent when I've done that my whole childhood. So I definitely understand that. I definitely understand that. You feel like your life was taken from you. Yeah. Sprinkle Clip says, indeed, a lot of mixed signals. Yeah, if you are confused, y'all, if you are confused, that person is dangerous and they don't like you. When somebody actually likes you and is a safe person, you will not be confused about them. Okay? So if you don't know nothing about any manipulation tactics or you don't know anything about anything that I talk about, just one thing, okay? If you are confused, a telltale sign that you are being manipulated or the person doesn't like you or the person is toxic and dangerous is if you are confused. If you are confused, get away from them. They're not safe. Okay? All right. Again, if you just got into the live, please say hi in the comments below. Let's not be ghosts, y'all. Let's talk. It's hers 887 says, where can I get your book? If you're in the US, it's available on Amazon. I link it in my link tree in my bio on my YouTube page. And it's also on every video, I pin it under the comments. So I pin the link to it under the comments. It should be the first comment you see. But it's available on Amazon. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Number 3, you're always anxious, tense, or constantly on edge in your presence. Yes. Your mood is literally tied to this person. You never know what mood they're going to be in. You never know when they're going to blow up. Y'all, that is not a safe place for you to be in. Okay, if you have to walk on eggshells around somebody, you never know what will set them off. You never know what will get them to rage. You never know if they're going to embarrass you publicly, yell at you, throw tantrums. You are in danger. You're in danger. Okay, get away from that person. Nine Tails Seance says, it's like playing hot and cold. It's so toxic. I've been a victim to a man who played hot and cold. He hated me. Yeah. And a lot of times, it's not just that he hates you. He actually also hates himself, and he hates you for being with him. Yeah, people that hate themselves hate you for being with them. They don't like themselves. They don't like themselves, so they feel like if you like them, then there must be something wrong with you. You might be even less than them because you choose to stay with them. So because no healthy person will be with them. So if you choose to stay with them, then there's something wrong with you. So that to them they hate you. They think you're the most disgusting thing ever because they hate themselves. Okay, and a lot of times you're trying to prove yourself to somebody who hates themselves. Crazy, right? All right. Number 4, you begin to take responsibility for the other person's inner emotional world. You feel as though it's your job to manage, stabilize, and fix what they are experiencing. Yes, this is codependency, caretaking tendencies. You think you can help them. You think you can save them. You think it's your job. It is not your job. It's not your job. You don't have to fix anybody who like you did not break. Like that's not your job. They have to go to therapy. Now, and if you guys have ever been to therapy, if you've ever been to therapy, actually sat on a therapist's couch, you know how long and tedious the process of healing is. It's long, and people get paid hundreds of dollars an hour to do this as a therapist. So that means it requires time, patience, and a lot of effort to heal somebody. But you think you can do it for free for somebody that you did not fix and you're not a professional. That's not your job. People get paid to do this stuff. It's not your job. Get away from them. Get away from them. It's not your job. It's not your job to stabilize somebody, fix somebody, manage their moods, manage your nervous system. It is not your job. Get away from them. Miss Moneymaker says, yes, it's not your job. Get away from them. Period. Yep. Okay. Where was I, child? I gotta go back to my notes. Number 5, over time, you begin to lose your sense of self as your focus shifts almost entirely onto the other person. You find yourself thinking more about your needs, feelings, and reactions than your own. And your life gradually becomes organized around managing them. This is an important part. You end up, although as a caretaker, you are very independent and you have a sense of self. But when you get into these relationships, you start to lose yourself because all your attention is now turned towards them. If you don't pay attention to them, if you don't manage them, if you are not always there for them, they start malfunctioning. So now you feel like it's your job to make sure that your whole life revolves around them, to make sure they're okay, not realizing that you are neglecting your own life. You're neglecting yourself. These people know how to get you to ignore yourself and your own life to serve them. I say serve them because that's literally what it is. You are serving them like a maid. You literally exist for them. Don't do it, y'all. I love y'all too much to not tell you the truth. I love y'all way too much to not tell you the truth. That's why I'm on this YouTube here spilling my guts. If you don't know how people are, I'm telling you, they will drain you. And then once you're empty and have nothing else to give, they will discard of you because they don't even see you as a human. That's not even how their brain works. It's like, okay, this toy that used to dispense this thing is no longer dispensing. It's empty. Let me throw it in the trash. That's literally how they think. There's no emotion behind it. They don't care. They don't care. Kate says it was a survival necessity for me to stabilize my mother's emotions. I'm trying now to remind myself that now as an adult, my survival does not depend on stabilizing the emotions of another person. Yes. Unfortunately, when you're under the age of 18, you don't have the choice to leave these environment. So you adopt a strategy to help you survive that environment. But once you're an adult, once you're over the age of 18 and you have your own job to take care of yourself, you have more control over your life than you think. Get out of there. Okay, it's not your job to stabilize another person. It's a lot of work to stabilize a mentally ill person. There are nurses for that, and you are not a nurse. Even if you were a nurse, it's not your specific job to stabilize this person's emotions that you're not responsible for. Okay? All right. How we doing, y'all? I'm at the last point. Let me see how many people we have in here. 22 people. You guys, if you just came into the chat, say hi. Don't be shy, okay? I want to learn all y'all names and everything. Say hi in the chat. Okay, number 5. Oh, I think we already talked about this. Okay, so that's what the relationship with a toxic person looks like when you are a caretaker. You literally lose yourself. You end up focusing all your time on them. You end up stabilizing their emotions, becoming their punching bag, sacrificing yourself for the peace of the whole group. Yeah, it's just not good. Okay. Oh, Goddess Divine. Hey, what's up? It's good to see you. You were in my last live. She says, "Yep, a lot of effort to heal, and it doesn't stop after your therapy session. I have a therapy session coming up, and I get excited about every single session because it shows me what else I can work on." Yes, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Once you get into therapy and you sit on the couch, you see how much work it is to heal somebody, to heal yourself, and to see the therapist trying to help you heal. So imagine when you're not a therapist, you're not being paid for this, but you think it's your job to fix this toxic person. It's not. You can't do it. You cannot do it. And there are some patients that not even therapists will take. They'll be like, okay, I can't handle this. I'm sorry. I cannot take you on as a client. Because there's some patients are just, they're volatile and nobody wants to deal with that. So imagine you, a person who's not a professional, you think you can fix this person. You think it's your job. It's not. It is not. Do not allow people. It's not your job to take care of a grown ass person, even if they're not grown. If it's not your child, it's not your job to heal that person. Okay. D Clark says, "Hi everybody. Hey y'all. I'm seeing some new names from the last time that I went live. What's up, y'all? Make yourself known. I want to get to know all of y'all by names. Like I know Goddess Divine, I know Exotic Man Child, I know Kate, I know some couple of people in here. I know Gigi. Yeah, I want to get to know y'all for real, okay? God is divine. Hey, hey, yep, hey, girl. Joopy Jazz says the video about being a caretaker felt like such a call out, but it was necessary. My sanity should not depend on others' peace. Yes, I felt like people needed to hear that. Okay. Now, I also wanted to make sure that I make the distinction between an empath, a codependent, and a caretaker be very clear. Okay. Because they are different. They are different. Okay. Never again. Very true. Yep. Yep. Okay, Exotic Man Child says being turned down from a therapist is a real thing. Yes, you guys, therapists turn down certain clients all the time. Like, you're not going to be on my couch insulting me, berating me, being a contrarian. Like, you're not about to do that. So they will literally just not take certain clients, but you think that you can fix them, and the therapist will not even take them. So y'all need to be careful about that. You guys, is my sound good? Do I sound a little screechy, or I need to make sure my sound is good because I don't have my mic on, my external mic. Okay, Goddess Divine says, I had to catch myself because I got triggered by the therapist, was able to apologize for reacting instead of responding. I'm thankful I took accountability and reflected on why I was triggered. Yes, that's good. I mean, we're humans, so things will happen, right? But you apologize and you took accountability. But a toxic person will not have taken accountability. And that's why they get rejected by clients, by therapists. Goddess Divine says, it is upsetting realizing that you were a caretaker for someone you should not have been a caretaker for, and you should have been taking care of yourself first and foremost. Yes. But we talked about that earlier in the live when I first started, about how a lot of this behavior is not conscious behavior. It's your nervous system issue. So it's a state that your nervous system is in. It is your autonomic nervous system. So that means it's automatically happening. So you can't really blame yourself for what your nervous system is doing for you to keep you safe. Okay. D. Clark says boundaries. Yep. Sounds good. Okay, I sound good. Okay, good. Good. Perfect. All right, moving on. So the last section of the video, I talked about how to make sure you can heal from being a caretaker. Okay, we're not taking caretaking into the rest of 2026 and into 2027 and beyond. Okay, there are ways to fix this. And the first one was, you need to heal and rewire your nervous system. So I talked about this earlier in the video. This is why I created the No One Cares course. You guys, I know the course is a little pricey, but there's a lot of good information on there. It took me a long time to create the course, but I created it for things like this. Okay, for people like this that need the help. Why do I keep tolerating bad behavior? Why can't I stand up for myself? What is wrong? What am I doing wrong? How do I keep attracting these toxic people to me? Why can't I say no? Things like that. You guys, I can come on the internet and bash narcissists all day and night. I mean, that's what some people do. Their whole channel is just about bashing narcissists, bashing toxic people, blah, 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 which is good. Okay, everybody has the content they like. But the thing with narcissists is that when you're able to recognize them and set a boundary, they leave right away. They don't even waste their time because they feel like it's not worth it. This person has boundaries. And you know why you have boundaries? Because your nervous system is regulated and you've healed your traumas, right? So if you keep attracting narcissists, it's not your fault, but you are failing to do something, and that's why you keep attracting them. And you're not necessarily attracting them, you are tolerating them, because narcissists are not that picky. They just keep testing people's boundaries and trying to see who is naive and gullible, who is unhealed, that they can take advantage of. Okay? So you need to make sure that you heal and rewire your nervous system. so that you can say no to these people because they're out there. Because some people, they'll get rid of one narcissist and then they get into another relationship with another narcissist. Yes, there are terrible people out there, but you need to realize, why can't I say no to these people? Why can't I recognize these people? Why are they so familiar to me? You need to fix that. Once you fix that, even when you see narcissists out and about, it's not going to bother you because you know how to say no to them. You know their game. Your nervous system is healthy. Okay? That's why I created the course. You need to rewire your nervous system, y'all. Okay, you need to, so the course is 32 videos, 3 essays. I show you plenty of ways. So first of all, I talk about the stages of healing, or the stages of grief in the course. I also talk about trauma, basically the inner workings and the neuroscience of trauma, how it manifests in your nervous system, your body, everything, y'all, everything. I talk about everything. And then the last part of the course, I talk about how to actually heal, the different techniques and strategies to heal. And then the last part is recovery, how to recover after healing. Okay, so it's a very comprehensive. I put a lot into this. It's not something that you're gonna buy and it's gonna be like a waste of your time. It's not. I wouldn't do that to people. Okay, if you got the book, The Bible of Manipulation, you know that I don't play about the content that I put out. I want to help you. Okay. Goddess Divine says, so basically you're saying we have to train our nervous system. Yes, because you have an autonomic nervous system, which means it's automatic. So if you have a survival strategy that you develop in childhood, okay, it's now automatic. So if you fawned or if you froze in childhood when you had like violence, abuse, whatever, and that's what kept you safe, that system is now wired into your in your nervous system. So whenever you are faced with a threat in real life, automatically your body goes into that state that kept you safe. So if it was shutting up and freezing and not saying anything back that kept you safe in childhood, automatically your body will shut down. So that's why sometimes you think back like, oh, why didn't I say anything? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Your autonomic nervous system shut you down. It shut you down to keep you safe. Okay. So you have to rewire your nervous system in order to be able to say no to these people, recognize these people. Okay. D. Clark says, being a caretaker nearly destroyed me. I'm getting the course ASAP. Thank you. If you guys, today's the last day to get the $50 off the course. Email me at glowgettergist@gmail.com. I will send you a discount code. It's $50 off the course to get the course. Okay. Email me like right now, glowgettergist@gmail.com. I'll look at it as soon as I get off this live. Okay. Kate Hampstead says, I want to heal, grow strong boundaries, and never deal with or think about toxic people again. Yes, once you heal and rewire your nervous system, like toxic people won't even faze you. You just laugh and smirk at them because you know they're full of it. And then you will see them manipulating somebody that's naive, and you just shake your head. It's like, damn, I used to be that. I could not, like, I wasn't able to see it, but I see it now. Right? Yeah. Dilly Lily says, I'm not sure if you covered this topic, but after dealing with these types and dynamics, it takes a long time to deal with rumination and intrusive thoughts or situations that happen to you. Yes. So again, I go into this in the course. Okay. I go into the inner workings of all of that in the course. But if you have a lot of rumination and intrusive thoughts, you might look up the symptoms of complex PTSD to make sure that you might have complex PTSD. If you have a lot of rumination and intrusive thoughts, you might have complex PTSD. So look into that. Okay, that's a whole nother monster on its own. That's why I keep telling y'all, do not tolerate toxic people. They will literally destroy you. They destroy your mind, your body, your nervous system, your brain. Some people get brain damage from so much trauma. Okay? Get the course. If you need to rewire your nervous system, get the course. Email me. I'll give you the discount code. D. Clark says, fawn and freezing can be seen as tolerance from toxic people. Yes, but the sad part of it is that it's not your conscious thing. It's not something you want to do. It's just something that's a survival strategy for you, and that it automatically happens. Your body does it to help you be safe. So you can't be that mad at yourself. Okay. Goddess Divine says, okay, I appreciate that breakdown. Definitely going to talk to my therapist about how to rewire my nervous system and how to acknowledge, as celebrate the small wins when it shows the progress. Yes. Okay, Jupi Jazz says the autonomic nervous system topic is very real. I've had POTS for years, and it's a disorder of that system. Low blood pressure, dizziness, dehydration, so much. Prioritize yourself. Yes, that's why I keep telling y'all. I also talk about, I have a section in the course where I talk about the kind of things that you may develop after trauma. Okay. So like the autoimmune issues, the diseases, the things like that. I go into all of that in the course. Y'all, toxic people will destroy you. Like, I'm not on here talking from my health. I'm trying to help y'all. So for real. Okay. Shine Baby Shine. Okay, my email is glowgettergist@gmail.com. If you want to go to my community tab, or even like under any of my videos, I have my email there, glowgetter. So GLOWGETTER @gmail.com. Oh no, glowgettergist. So GIST @gmail.com. Okay. Goddess Divine says, no, you're absolutely right about complex PTSD. It was one of the reasons why I was able to get moved up on the wait list for therapy. I didn't even know I had PTSD. They had to explain it to me. Yeah, I used to have complex PTSD too before I went into therapy. Yeah, so that's how I know what it's like. Complex PTSD happens when you have multiple traumas over time, over your lifetime. Okay. Sprinkle Clip says, could you please make a video on trauma bonding? There is a compulsory factor about keep going back to toxic relationships. Yeah, so I have multiple videos that talk about it. It's the hot trauma bonding happens when somebody uses periods of hot and cold behavior to kind of train you to be addicted to them. So the reason why you're addicted to them is because that hot and cold push and pull, it creates like a rewarding, like chemical like balance in your system. So then you start associating that toxic person with like a reward, with relief. So you become addicted to them, like gambling. You know how like when people gamble, sometimes a lot of times they lose, but sometimes they win, and it's like that feeling comes back to them, that euphoria comes back to them, so then they can't stop gambling. It's that same kind of mechanism. So that's why you have these toxic relationships where it'll be absolutely toxic, and that person will go right back to them because they are addicted to them. They are chemically addicted to that person. They need to heal their nervous system. Shine Baby Shine says, OMG, I have POTS too. Yeah. 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 You will develop a lot of autoimmune issues or just weird diseases after going through trauma with toxic people. That's why I keep telling y'all, distance yourself, set your boundaries, get away from them. Get the book, get the Bible of Manipulation book. I teach you. I have it right here, actually. I have it right here. Yeah, I literally go into detail about all the different manipulation tactics. I was actually just reading it today. About every tactic, learn to spot them early. So my whole point is that I gave you the Glow Getter guide, so which tells you, okay, what should be a boundary? I should write it down. What should be a standard for me? Okay, I should write it down. How can I set my boundary? I can write it down. How can I present in social settings? I can write it down. Then I gave you the Bible of Manipulation book. This is actually how to spot an unsafe person. This is how to spot manipulation. This is how to spot toxic behavior. I'm giving you play by play, okay, on how to protect yourself, right? If somebody gave me a book like this 10 years, 15 years ago, honey, Honey. Oh, I will thank them so much. But you guys, that's what I want the book to become like. I want it to be like a coming of age book. Like if you have a nieces, nephews coming of age, oh, you're going to high school, you're going to college, you will need this book. Let me give you this book real quick. You will need it, right? Or if you have a child, your own child, like, yeah, girl, you need to read this book. Okay. Because a lot of times people get on the internet or just in real life, they'll be like, okay, y'all need to learn how to use discernment, have discernment. But you guys, they don't tell you how to have discernment. I tell you how to get discernment. I wrote the book, Bible of Manipulation. That is discernment. That is exactly what to look for. I don't just talk, I give you real instructions on how to do what you need to do. Okay? Dilly Lily says, we'll definitely be buying the course. Thank you. Email me. Okay, I'll give you the discount code for the $50 off. glowgettergist@gmail.com. Jupi Jazz says, we lose ourselves and others when we don't know who we are, and we basically dissolve our identities into people we are addicted to, and the withdrawals are real. That's when people go back. Yes, it's that chemical addiction. You become addicted to them. It's like gambling. Goddess Divine says, yeah, the body definitely starts to have reactions when you're in those type of relationships, whether it's family, friends, or romance. For me, I will get anxiety. That's how I knew. Yep. Yep. It's serious, y'all. It's serious. You need to protect yourself. That's why I'm giving you the instructions on how to protect yourself. Rewire your nervous system, get the course, get the Bible manipulation book to learn how to spot dangerous toxic behavior, toxic people, spot manipulation. Get the Glow Getter Guide to know how to have standards, set boundaries, how to do it. Okay, Shine Baby Shine says, was just gonna ask, does this course give practical action-based steps on how to heal complex PTSD? Ooh, girl, who are you talking to? Of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it does. Girl, I have 32 videos breaking it all down for you. Okay. And for every video, I have the notes for it. So I have the notes in the PDF format so that if you want to like go along with the video by reading the notes, you can too. So even if you don't want to go back to the video, at least you have the notes for it to go back to it. But yes, I give you practical steps. Yes. Y'all know I don't do anything half-assed. Come on now. I don't do it. If you buy any of my books, you know I don't like, I'm not a type of person who will put something raggedy together just to get some money. I don't practice like that. I think people that do that, they don't last long in business because you're shady. Kate says, your videos have helped me so much. Thank you. Thank you, girl. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and being on the live today. Shine Baby Shine, yes, gonna buy and email you now. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I really want to grow this channel. We're at 15,700 subscribers right now. I'm trying to get to 20,000 this year, at least, you know. We're trying to grow. More people need to see that this channel exists, right? Okay, Goddess Divine says she definitely giving great examples on how to read the red flags and use discernment. Anyone who cannot give you a proper example may either not know what it actually is to use discernment. Yes, I don't like when people just yell at you like, have discernment, use your common sense. And it's like, girl, what am I supposed to look at? That's why I wrote the book. And that's why my channel is called For the Unmothered Daughter. Okay, that's in my bio, because even if you have your mother in your life, some mothers do not teach you these type of things that you're supposed to know. They just expect you to know. And it's like, girl, like, I can't just know. You got to tell me what to look for. But that's why I wrote the book for you, so that you can know, even if you don't have anybody to teach you these things. I didn't have anybody to teach me. I had to learn on my own, but I'm giving it to others so that they can know, okay? To avoid people like this. Also, God is Divine, you got the book, the Bible manipulation book. If you did and you're interested in the course, please email me again, glowgettergist@gmail.com, okay, to get the discount for the course. Jupi Jazz says on this topic, I've been writing a book for helping heal intergenerational trauma. Have you made videos on that? Well, congrats on writing your book. I don't know if I don't think I've made like a specific video for that, but like every video that I've made, especially like when it comes to like lashes videos such as this one, like I touch on like trauma and healing in general. But the course has healing trauma in general. So I don't know if that answers your question. Daisy, oh my girl Daisy's in here. Hey Daisy girl, you guys. Daisy is my moderator for my Discord, and she's a good friend of mine. Hi Daisy girl, welcome. Thanks for hopping in. She says, "Hey darling, sorry I missed most of the live, but I'm here. It's okay, girl. I'm gonna save the live afterwards for anybody who missed it." Goddess Divine says, I love how you've been growing your channel organically. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I want to make it. You guys, I see some channels that, and this is no shade by the way at all. I see some channels that's like 500,000 subscribers and a million subscribers, and it's like the channel is dead. It's like they make a video, it's like nobody's commenting, nobody's doing anything. Like they're not there. The channel has no value. Like I'd rather have a little amount of subscribers and have value and have a real community of people that I'm actually helping, influencing, than like just to have a big number, just to say I have a big number. Okay. I don't want an empty big number. Okay. I want y'all to see Bella and be like, oh my God, that's Bella. She did this for me. She helped me with this. She taught me this. Like, that's what I want. I want a real community, a real, connection with you guys. Okay. That's what we're doing here. We don't do empty big numbers here. Goddess Divine says, I used to ask that question all the time. Okay, how do you know how to use discernment? How do you trust your intuition if you haven't been? Like, ma'am, what are the proper protocols to this? Yes, I hear when people just talk at you, like, have discernment, have discernment. Okay, like, well, how am I supposed to do that, girl? Okay. Shine Baby Shine says, exactly, I can't stand when people are too vague. My neurodivergent ass needs clear steps. Yes. Okay. Goddess Divine says, definitely many reasons for subscribers, but it doesn't match the engagement from buying bots to their audience outgrowing them. And the worst reason is actually usually scandals. Ooh, yikes. Yeah, I don't know about bots and all of that. I just know that I don't want a big channel with a huge number that doesn't have a strong engagement because nobody's really interested in the content. Because sometimes people just subscribe to you and like they don't even watch you. Like they forget they subscribe to you. Like so I don't even like subscribe to a lot of my the people that I watch on YouTube because sometimes I forget I subscribe to them. But I'll keep watching their videos though when it shows up. Crazy, right? Yeah. So just because you have a lot of subscribers, a lot of followers, does not mean you have a community. I want an actual community with you guys. Exotic Man Child says all words when they're on desperate mode, making videos, not even worried about who's actually subscribing to them, posting your streams for YouTube kids, knowing this. Oh my God, I didn't mean to, oh my God, are we talking ish, guys? You guys, this is not a shady, we're not a shady group, okay? Let's stop now, okay? Um, Daisy says, having a bunch of subs without them watching your videos is just a waste. I agree. Yeah, I want a real community. We need to actually bring value to the people we're talking to. Yeah, engagement on the channel shows the reality of the loyal support base. Okay, yeah. And also, you guys, sometimes you request certain videos from me and I don't do them, not because I don't want to, but because one, I don't want this channel to become like a validation loop Like I see like some channels, unfortunately, and it's like the whole channel has just become a validation loop because somebody will comment like, "Can you make this specific video on somebody at your work that said this? And can you show us how to do?" Like, no, I'm not making that video. I'm not. Because at that point, the supporters are just, they're the ones controlling the channel now. Sometimes I might not give you the video that you want, but I give you the video that you need. And that's the video that's going to help you with what you want. Okay? Like somebody can comment like, "Can you make a video on how to say this was something?" No, I'm gonna make a video called Lashings. I'm gonna make a video called "You're Not Nice, You're a Caretaker." Rewire your nervous system, get the Bible manipulation book, and learn how to stand up for yourself. That's the video that you need, not the video that you want. Okay? I don't want a channel that is becoming a validation loop. I give you what you need. Okay? Exotic Man Child says, "I love how most of them are trying to push roadblocks. Now, all of a sudden, I love how you're genuine." Okay, y'all, I don't know anything about that sector of YouTube, y'all. Okay. Says this group is anti-trauma bonding. Yeah, I will not have it. I will not have it. Y'all will not be, we will not be trauma bonding on this channel. No, we are healing that and throwing it in the trash. We're not doing that. This is not a validation loop channel. If you're somebody that just wants me to say exactly what you want, give you exactly what you want all the time, you might not really like me like that. Even in real life, I'm not like that. I'm not going to just give you everything you want all the time. I'm going to give you what you need. And that what you need is going to help you with what you want. Okay? Okay, Goddess Divine says, "Well, I'm okay with you not giving us every little thing that we want and giving us what we actually need. That's healthier as a content creator for you and for us." Yes. Daisy says, "I never heard of that." Yeah. Okay, y'all, back to the rest of the video. All right, so how to overcome being a caretaker. Number 2, get comfortable with other people's discomfort. Okay, get comfortable with other people's discomfort. It is not your job to make toxic people comfortable. It is not your job to save everybody from whatever they're feeling. Okay, it is not your job to save somebody from loneliness, from being rejected, from being whatever state you're in. It's not your job to save them. Also, if somebody crosses a line and you set a boundary and it's now awkward and there's tension, it is not your job to make them comfortable again. Because I have to say this because when I was a people pleaser, when I was still unhealed, I used to do this. Like even when I would set a boundary or I would yell at them or I'll argue back or whatever, and then there's tension in the environment, I'll feel bad. I'll feel like, damn, I yelled at her. Damn, like I just cussed her out. And I'll try to make them like, I'll try to manage their emotions again. I'll be like, okay, you know what? Oh, you want to go get something to eat? Or like, are you okay? Or like, I try to like make it soft again. And that's part of people pleasing. It's part of fawning. Like even when I did set a boundary, I felt bad afterwards and tried to manage their discomfort. Do not manage people's discomfort. Let people stay in the discomfort. Okay, let people have the consequences of their actions. A big part of codependency and people pleasing and caretaking is trying to take away people's consequences for their actions. And what do we know? Consequences is what keeps people in line. Even on the broader spectrum, like even just in like our country, every country needs laws and rules because without laws, people become crazy and start doing evil things. So then we have the law, right? And then that's the boundary. The law is a boundary. And then we have the police and the law enforcement to enforce those laws, to give the consequences for anybody that crosses those boundaries, that violates that law. So as a person yourself, you are also supposed to have laws for yourself. We call those boundaries. And when people violate those boundaries, you're supposed to give them consequences. And if you take away the consequences, they're not going to learn. They're not going to learn. So you have to be comfortable with people, be comfortable with people not being comfortable with what they did to you. If I cuss you out because you crossed my boundary, do not sit there and try to like appease them again. Get up and leave. Get up and leave. When you set your boundary, walk away. Don't sit there and try to be like, oh, I hurt your feelings. No, don't do that. Daisy said, I like that metaphor. Our boundaries are our laws, like society. Yes, boundaries are your laws. And when a country has laws, people get in line, people respect it. Okay? Juppy Jazz says some of these people literally never experience having consequences, can't relate. Yes. And that's the thing. We talked about that earlier in the live. Like some people's toxic behaviors are not because they came from trauma or something like that. Sometimes they've just been really spoiled kids that never got consequences and discipline. So they just are entitled narcissistic adults that never got consequences. So you have to give them the consequences of their actions. Goddess Divine says, so does that fall into the same category as being okay with addressing conflict? Example, you set a boundary that that person has to sit in their discomfort and now they're confrontational with you. I think I understand what you're saying. Yes, so you set a boundary, yes, and you let them sit in that boundary, sit in that whatever you did to set the boundary. Maybe you yelled at them or you argued back or you just were very stern with them. Let them sit in that and get away, walk away. Don't sit there and try to like soothe their emotions because now their feelings are hurt because you cussed them out. Don't sit there and do that. You have to let them sit in the consequences of their actions. You hurt me, I set a boundary, and now you don't get access to me until you start treating me with respect again. Right? Yeah. Okay. Number 3, as a caretaker, you need to stop caring about what others think of you. Okay. You are so focused on image management that it makes you easy to manipulate. Okay. The obsession with others seeing you as a good person is a leash. That's number 3. Image management. As a caretaker, you care way too much about people thinking that you're a good person. If you are obsessed with people thinking you're a good person, you're going to be very easy to manipulate and take advantage of. Okay? Let that go. Let the image go. You can care about your reputation, but also detach from it at the same time. Some people are committed to not liking you. Some people are committed to taking advantage of you. And if they can't, they categorize you as a bad person. And you shouldn't care. Stop caring. Some of y'all care way too much what other people think of you. Don't care. You think I'm a bad person? Great. You think I'm a good person? Great. I don't care either way. Right? All right. Number 4, remember you do not have to comply to people that treat you terribly. Compliance does not make it stop. It makes it continue. Because what you tolerate, you teach people that they are allowed to do. Okay? People treat you how you allow them to treat you. Maybe not initially, but they test you. And if you don't set a boundary when they test you the first time, they're going to think it's okay to keep testing you and trying you and disrespecting you. So you teach them by setting boundaries the first time. Like, hey, I'm not going to play with you. Like, I'm not that girl. Find somebody else. So the first time they come at you is not your fault. But if you don't set a boundary and they keep coming at you, at that point is you teaching them, hey, it's okay to disrespect me. Okay? Okay, Goddess Divine says, damn, that sounds like a mental jail. If I'm bad, call me the greatest villainess. Yeah. Yeah. Take yourself away from that good girl image, good girl jail. Stop caring. If you don't like me, great. If you like me, great. Whatever. Okay. So you are not, you don't have to comply with people that treat you terribly. If you're yelling at me, talking to me crazy, disrespecting me, I don't have to sit here and take it. I don't have to sit here and take it. Bye. You don't have to comply. As a caretaker, you feel the need to comply because you want to keep the peace. Don't do it. It will only get worse. All right. And the last one, you are not responsible for managing people's moods, emotions, and behaviors. Not your partners, not your friends, not your parents, not the difficult coworker, not the person in the room whose energy is about to shift and ruin everything for everyone. It is not your job. Okay. If somebody is throwing tantrums, if somebody is being aggressive, being crazy, it's not your job to soothe them, to keep the peace. Get away from them. That's what you need to do. Get away from them. It's not your job. As a caretaker, you have to stop taking responsibility for people's moods, people's behaviors, people's actions. It's not your problem. They need help and you can't help them. And you guys, people know how to get help. Okay? They know that therapists exist. So if they don't get help, it's because they don't want to. So stop trying to help people that don't want to be helped. Okay? All right, so we're at 8 o'clock. It's 2 hours. I'm about to get off, y'all. It was a great live. You guys check out the course if you're a caretaker, codependent, people pleaser, you need the course. Okay. Email me at glowgettergist@gmail.com. I will send you the $50 discount code for the course. Yeah. So email me at glowgettergist@gmail.com. Also, get the Bible manipulation book. Even if it's not for yourself, buy it for somebody else. Okay. Or just share it. Share it with other people. Make sure they know how to protect themselves. I want this book to be a staple in households, to just help people. Okay. Help people. Right. Uh, Goddess Divine says, I'm proud of myself. I'm just listening to your live reminded me that I no longer just allow any type of treatment. Yes. Healing will do that. Right. Okay, y'all. So that's the end of the live. I'm about to get off real soon. Is there anything else we need to discuss before I leave? If you just came in and you didn't introduce yourself, say hi. If you have something on your mind that we want to touch on real quick before I leave, let's do that. Real quick before I get off. Anybody has anything we need to talk about? But you guys, it was a great live. I know not a lot of people joined as much as last time, but it's cool. I will save this live for those who need it, who were not able to join. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for coming on. Thanks, Dilly Lily. Thanks for joining and staying the whole time. You've been here since I started, so thank you so much. All right, y'all. Check out the course. Check out the Bible manipulation book. Check out the Glow Getter guide on Amazon. And thank you guys for joining me today. See you all again soon. Yes, see you all again soon. All right. Bye, y'all. Love ya.